What thing is at her heart? What thing is inside her heart? Some pain, some grief, some withered life. She had passed by all her flowers, this priestess of the dark. Now last night as I went to bed, I closed my eyes to pray, and in the same instant I saw a witch, a slightly old woman, standing there in some space in the dimensions, a space within my private outer space, a witch with witchcraft. For a moment I wondered how much of this sight is my imagination. I turned to the Lord, I turned my mind into the light, and my standing into my standing, then I turned back to see if I should do something with this creature of the night. I saw that she had fallen down, her body, or astral body, I suppose, was lying flat, knocked out unconscious. Perhaps it was because she got entangled in her trespass within my private domain, and then must be vulnerable to the world of my thoughts whereat she had laid an offensive claim. I wonder what happens to old witches. The young witches and warlocks live and hope in the little precarious gift of youth inside their organic body. That they can be so foolish must be amazing. Now we know from the book of Ephesians that the mind which is disconnected from the life of God, thinks in terms of futility, and within this kind of futility is an unknowing of the unknowns, which is to say, the brain prevents us from knowing our ignorance, and tells us otherwise. This remarkable blindness, or anosognosia, if we can borrow a neurological term, of the mind of the brain is a consequence of another bad thing that had happened in our heart, some deep thing in our psychology. I had perceived it by revelation. I saw the heart of stone. It is something inside our inner being, a core foundation, the size of a thumb or finger, or a little smaller, contracted inwardly so that it looks solid, hence the analogy of a rock or stone. I perceived in that moment that the stone is made up of our deep fear of not being loved. It was all about fear and love, and not being loved entirely causes a void, a thing of fear, that pulls inward. The mind of the brain, being left as the thing we pivot on, tries to help us, gives its best attempt towards our survival, and in this attempt pulls mighty psychological moves, self-deception, madness and rationalization, suppression, greed, defensiveness, temptation to pride, hoping harm for others, and delighting in the weakness of others, so that, by some madness or toxic medicine, we may survive a little longer.